first, we're going to talk about a brand new president for Mexico. Claudia Sheinbaum is the first female president of Mexico. She is a climate scientist, Mexico City's former mayor. She won the country's largest election in history. She's known as La Doctora because she has a PhD in energy engineering, and she was part of the United Nations panel of climate scientists that received a Nobel Peace Prize. She was extremely esteemed, but she's also set to be Mexico's first female president. And she's also the country's first Jewish leader, even though she governs as a secular leftist. And she actually promised to govern all Mexicans, quote, without distinction. And I thought that was very interesting. And we're going to be talking about that when we talk about leadership later. That, to me, stood out as a really good sign. How do you feel about this, Brian?
Oh, I think it's cool. I think especially for the women in Mexico, it's going to be a big voice for them in the sense with like the femicide that's been going on for years. I think it's great, at least even for moral, uplifting.
It is.
I think it's a cool thing. I mean, everywhere in the world, I think this is showing, a cool stance on it.
It really is. I was really excited because there are a lot of great things, but I thought, why is he bringing this up on a psychology podcast? Well, the reason is because this reflects something in a dynamic that we often don't think about, and that's the importance of leaders. And there's something called social learning theory. This is a learning theory that's in the world of psychology, pioneered by Albert Bandura. And he proposed that there are key principles of social learning theory that suggest through observational learning, children model their behaviors by watching others. That is basically the individuals develop through environmental factors, namely imitation of role models. So by all the children in Mexico, and even by virtue of other children around the world and other people around the world seeing a female leader of a major country such as Mexico, who was the mayor of the world's largest city, which was Mexico City, and now she's the president of Mexico. They're going to be now seeing that leadership is a part of their future if they want it. And I think this is an incredibly powerful model. And our country hasn't even had a female president or a Jewish president. So it's really kind of an interesting thing that's happening there in Mexico. But when we look at the power of leaders, and when we watch leaders, and leaders lead with distinction, it creates powerful role models for children. So I thought that was kind of a nice thing.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a good influence on the rest of the world, where maybe we also might have a female president at some point.
Maybe. We got close, but close, but no cigar. Okay, this week in psychology,